Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle." The political prisoners called the Wilmington 10 have taken every one of those steps in their journey for vindication. Now, after nearly 3 long decades, hundreds of hours in jail time, and over $1 million in defense funds, the Wilmington 10 finally got justice.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
The United Church of Christ stood by them every step of the way, and after years of protests, prayers, and appeals, the members of the Wilmington 10 received pardons of innocence. Gregory Congregational United Church of Christ in Wilmington was the site of the celebration. But history was made in the North Carolina State House when Governor Beverly Perdue officially signed the pardons, saying justice demands that this stain finally be removed.
And I'm proud that we were able to do whatever we could do, little or large as it was, to be supportive of this final carriage of justice.
One of the longest and most controversial civil rights cases in history began back in the 1970s, when racial tensions came to a boil in Wilmington, North Carolina. After a week of violence, Ben Chavis from the UCC's Commission for Racial Justice, along with students Connie Tyndale, Marvin Patrick, Wayne Moore, Reginald Epps, Jerry Jacobs, James McCoy, Willie Vereen, William Wright Jr., and Ann Shepard, were unjustly accused of firebombing a store. After a racially tainted trial, the Wilmington 10 was found guilty. The United Church of Christ and its Commission for Racial Justice, led by the Reverend Charles E. Cobb, launched a nationwide campaign to secure freedom for the political prisoners. Through Executive Council meetings and General Senate gatherings, over $1 million was raised for their defense. Eventually, the Wilmington 10 were released from prison, but not pardoned.
I remember all the times we met in the Executive Council dealing with that and how to fund and help with their bail. Where would that money come from? Well, these were difficult, painful, tense times, and the church was caught in it.
The church had never known a finer hour than it knew in those 10 years that we struggled to free and vindicate the Wilmington 10.
The Reverend Avery Post was president of the United Church of Christ from 1977 to 1989. He persistently continued the campaign to gain freedom for the Wilmington 10.
The UCC, pursuing justice, went at it hard with legal assistance, with presence in the courts, prison visits, advocacy, demonstrations.
But history itself will record this moment as groundbreaking.
When Governor Perdue pardoned the Wilmington 10, it was not only a victory for the surviving political prisoners, but a major victory for the United Church of Christ, who worked so tirelessly for justice.
I think that it's an encouragement in the end for us to continue to be the kind of church that we are.
The pardons end a long, rocky journey for the Wilmington 10 and the United Church of Christ. But today, there are many more steps to go to support others who are still sacrificing, suffering, and struggling in their quest for fairness. The United Church of Christ will continue praying, fighting, and speaking out until justice is reached for everyone.